Hi, I'm Jesse. This is One Block at a Time, and today we're looking at Joralemon Street. Joralemon Street is simply one of the most beautiful blocks in New York City, or maybe any city, and in addition it has a fun little secret. First, let's take a look at the Brooklyn Heights neighborhood, where the street is tucked away. Brooklyn Heights is an upscale residential area of elegant brownstones, most of which were built in the 1850s and 60s, and it also has an abundance of churches. The area was protected as a historic district in 1965, the first one in New York City. It's one of the most beautiful and quiet neighborhoods to walk around in New York. Famous residents of Brooklyn Heights have included actors Gary Oldman, Matthew Broderick, Tyra Banks, Matt Damon, Kerry Russell, and even Marilyn Monroe. Author and civil rights activist W.E.B. Du Bois, poet Walt Whitman, author H.P. Lovecraft, and about 100 other actors and celebrities. Brooklyn Heights is one of my favorite neighborhoods to bring out-of-town friends and tourists. Here's a great bookstore, and the Brooklyn Cat Cafe. And I always include this one block of Joralemon Street, which is simply gorgeous. The block starts with this standout home on the corner with its wraparound window, beautiful cornices, and tiny oval window too. Its entrance has these etched glass figures of a lion and a unicorn. Traditionally, these represent the United Kingdom, the lion standing for England and the unicorn for Scotland. The characters here are from John Tenniel's illustrations from Through the Looking Glass. Walking down the block, we see these nice London plane trees, which are pretty common in New York, and a lot of detailed wrought iron fencing and railings. There are some flowers, even though it's fall. In the spring, the flowers are overwhelming. And here are old-timey print newspapers delivered on the doorstep. It's like stepping back in time into a Hallmark movie. Old stone blocks line the road instead of regular pavement. People call these cobblestones, but cobblestones are actually round. These are Belgian blocks. Brownstone steps and fine brick detailing are standard on these expensive townhouses. One recently sold for $6 million. Everything's just completely charming. And here's someone selling or giving away some books. But who? I know it's not this house's residence, because this isn't a house at all. That's Joralemon Street's secret. Notice the windows are much darker than the other homes. They've been completely blacked out. The door has no window of its own, unlike all the other houses on the street. And there's a weird metal cover slanted over the front of the building. This is all because this house is secretly a ventilation shaft for the 4 and 5 subway lines, and has been since 1907. For decades, smelly exhaust poured from the windows until renovations in the 1990s shunted the ventilation to the roof and better disguised the building to match the street. It can also be used as an entrance for MTA employees and as an emergency exit from the subway. It's admirable that such a potentially utilitarian structure was instead made to blend in so seamlessly with the serenity of the street. And here the street intersects with Columbia Place, which we'll detour to for a second to see this exceptional building. And across from it is a row of wooden houses? Are we suddenly on a farm? These 4 wooden frame row homes were originally a series of 9 built in the 1830s. It's really unusual for them to have survived in such great condition. So there you have the incredible Joralemon Street. But before we leave, I want to walk a block over and show you this little cul-de-sac called Grace Court Alley. Named after Grace Church on the corner, this was originally a mews, a row of stables, for mansions on Remsen and Joralemon Streets. The stables were converted into carriage houses. Some still have hooks for lifting bales of hay. Because of their beauty and solitude, one of the renovated houses recently sold for $10 million. So, Brooklyn Heights is pretty remarkable. And I haven't even mentioned the stunning Brooklyn Promenade yet, a long walkway with an incredible view of the Manhattan skyline. Stay tuned for another video focusing on that. I hope on your next visit to New York that you get to visit Brooklyn Heights and take a stroll on Joralemon Street.